I'm Margaret Anna Windsor, and I wish to comment on the State Department, U.S. State Department's comments about how did they describe it in Turkey when a group of Turkish citizens um, manhandled a bit of American, I don't know how many, group of American military. My point in making this is just this. This made network television, and comments, barbs thrown back and forth. And the British, because of what's been done to us, the British have suffered and been blamed for what the Americans did, because they're put into the group of saying Westerners, when really the United States is the one at fault. They kidnapped me in 41. I was born in 39, and I've put this on videos, long list of them for the last over a year on Facebook. And I told about all this since I wrote a medical malpractice book that was unpublished. 76 till April Fool's Day of 80 when they put antifreeze in me, and I should have died. Instead, I went to the emergency room for a tox screen to see if I could counteract, because I knew whatever it was horrifying, and I was dying. And instead of that, all hell broke loose, and that's the story in its own. No one's ever been prosecuted, held accountable for any of the ongoing crimes that are still being done to me. I don't know where my sons Mark and Scott are. I only can hope they're alive and well. So I found out in 83 I was flown to Flint. Larry Flint's a hustler, had been shot in 78 when I was living and doing the book in Marietta. He was shot in Lawrenceville, and his attorney was killed. Now then, the doctor, U.S. Congressman I had written about, Larry McDonald, I'd written about Emory University was mentioned in the book, and Center for Disease Control, and murders at Larry McDonald, the hospital, Piedmont, where he worked. And he was a urologist, and he was into Western goals. And anyway, the book was on mind control and modifying behavior without someone's knowledge. You can program them, their decision making. It's your decision, the one doing the programming, and they don't even know it. Or make them, command them to go out and kill, murder. It can be mass. Nowadays, they can program a whole army. So, how do you prove it? I'll just jump to the point here. The point being that the murders were deliberately done in patterns. Mind control is invisible, so you can't prove it. It would be hard to prove unless it was done in this way. And it's been ongoing, the murders. It can be made you look like suicide, like Robin Williams, which is a total lie. They aren't going to tell the truth about that. And I didn't just start telling this yesterday. John Lennon, I worked for the district attorney after the antifreeze was put in me, and I was told not to talk about any of it. I could type. I could still work. It was hell. I mean, it was like an ongoing hell that you thought you were going to scream and you knew you couldn't. You had to pretend nothing was wrong and try to interact the best you could. So that was a long time in healing. And I was actually thrown on the side of the road, really, in 86, and I came to Roanoke and lived on the Appalachian Trail, and in and around Full Heart, no, close to where I am now. And people all knew about this, just like they did in Huntsville and Atlanta. The media and the national media, they won't comment about me because my kidnapping, because who my father is and who I am. My father's King Edward VIII, married to my mom, Claudia O'Keefe, Irish, Catholic American, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe, born in Madison, Wisconsin. My father never married Wallace Simpson. She was an American spy. She married an imposter, a look-alike, and they became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor and stole my father and mother's identity and it was a forced abdication, illegal. But there was an addendum that's very legal, and a seal put on it. The 99-year seal to cover up the crimes. And the seal, I am Victoria II, legal heir to the British Crown. My own Uncle George, Roosevelt, President then, the Illuminati or Freemasons, whatever you want to call them, Western Gold. They're the New World Order, which Obama's part of, and now Elizabeth, the illegal monarch, is a member, and so is Charles. And some of my other Windsor family, which makes me sick at my stomach. They have kidnapped me, and Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador to England during that time. He was kicked out in 46. His son's JFK, the Warren Commission covered that up, and because it'd lead back to me and the take down of my father, which was all a lie. Why would you put a 99-year seal on something? I put all this on, and this, I'm 76 years old almost, and every day of my life has been a living hell with, I'll say what the FBI said, because I had a letter from them after I did the book. It's really because of my kidnapping that all this has happened. But they said they were stacking them, and that's laws being committed against me of terrorism that's torture every day of my life, ongoing. And one of the mind control murders is one of Hannah Graham here. She's citizen of the UK, of England. But her mother and father moved to Falls Church of Fairfax, Virginia, 12 years ago, and she was a student at the University of Virginia. And the man who is accused of her murder and abduction and of Morgan Harrington, and he's been brought, Jesse Matthews. He's been taken to Fairfax County up there to stand trial for a rape that happened some time back. But this man was programmed, and this one can totally be proven. It was done in patterns, and it should be no question. It's a fact of withholding evidence, which is illegal, because it's a different kind of way to murder and different kind of evidence, and most of all, it would point and tell the truth about what's been done to me, which is beyond comprehension, because people have known it and participated, and I'm an April Fool's joke every step of the way. They found it funny that the United States could kidnap the monarch, take down my father, and still do these hideous crimes against me and watch me beg and plead and make a pauper out of me. I guess the point is, if they ever show it, maybe the rest of the world won't agree to the terrorism this country has spread all over the world, and especially to me and my country and to Germany. The Germans did help my family there, and the Germans, the British citizens were the ones that stood through this whole hell. Just look at what's happened to Great Britain and a handful of Americans, which I hope that somehow I'm able to repay the people that helped me, and by the same token, only God himself can make the rest of them pay for their crimes. But for the State Department to say that ugly and disturbing, well, if they find that ugly and disturbing, why in the HELL do they find it so comical, and why don't they tell about me and it go before a war tribunal that would be controlled by the very people that kidnapped me? And that's the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Jews, and the Kennedys, and the Clintons are part of the New World Order, okay? And part of my family that should be before the World Court. Elizabeth, her father's dead, some of the other Windsors. So there you go. I hope it's shown, and I think there would be a different take on all this. I really do. It's horrific.